Right, so before we could go camping and enjoy ourselves at Tioga Point State Campground, we first had to cross a couple miles from Racket Lake, using 2 leaky kayaks and a canoe. The weather was beautiful, but we could not quite fit a week's worth of supplies in one trip.
So, knowing that we couldn't get everything to the site on the first day, Zach and I decided to leave one of each of our bags behind just for some weight and space and things like that. So, the next morning, after the morning lights died down, we canoed back to get the rest of the stuff, which makes sense. And I remember getting about halfway back before we come around this bend, and there's just a barge with an Amerigas truck on it. And my thought was, dear God, don't blow up. There's, just as we're putting back in the water, there's a seaplane that comes in over the top. Come around to see the length of the lake, and it's bam, right there. And it starts to turn. And I look at it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, Zach, the seaplane, the seaplane's looking at us. It's looking at us, and it gets louder, and we hear the gear shift into the next thing, and it starts getting faster, and I'm thinking, okay, we're in direct line with the takeoff. And we start paddling faster. We're like, Zach, the seaplane's gonna run us over. Zach, and he's like watching and laughing. And then a speedboat starts coming from the opposite direction forward. So we're here. We have the seaplane coming sideways, the speedboat coming forwards. And something's got to give. So we veer off to the side. The speedboat goes between us and the plane. And at the last second, the plane turns away and just takes off back the way it came. It was quite the adventure.
The forests and meadows surrounding Racket Lake are home to many creatures, including squirrels, flowers, ducks, flowers, deer, ducks, flowers, and squirrels.
So the same day, Kaz and I made our extra trip back to town to get the extra stuff that we had left. We had made it back to camp and encountered 2 hikers that had gotten lost on the trail to Sergeant's Pond. They were having a terrible day. So we did the right thing and offered to take them across the lake to North Point, which could connect to the road where they left their car.
I'm Kyle, by the way. If you guys don't know, I mean.
After paddling for quite a while, we make it to North Point, chilled on the road. They're very grateful. We turn around. The sun's starting to set. This is the end of the day. Clouds are rolling in. The wind's picking up. It's starting to be not the kind of weather you want to be out on the lake in. We clear the needles, and we can see the campsite in the distance, but the wind just doesn't want us to get there.
No matter which way we went, the wind was always against us. You go this way, the wind's against you. You go that way, the wind's against you. You go north, east, southwest, the wind's against you. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
If it hits you,
it's challenging us.
It'll turn the boat, take you off course. Basically, we had to fight with our spirit and our muscles and our minds to overcome the situation.
In addition to that, we had a kayak dragging behind us.
But I had to tow the red kayak back because the 2 of us had to take the canoe. So we basically had an anchor, let alone the wind, let alone the sun setting and the storm approaching and the bears encroaching. It was not a good day.
The sea bears, they're everywhere.
But in the end, we were both heroes.
I'm Kyle, by the way.
So, later in the trip, we realized that we were running short on water, so me and Zach were going to make a run back to town to pick up a few more gallons. And so, we get in the canoe and we set off, and we make pretty good time back to town. There's not a whole lot of wind. It was pretty calm, so we got across pretty quickly. And right as we were about to pull into dock, Zach said, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "Zach, that's not a good sound." He informed to tell he was inclined to tell me that he left his keys back at the campsite an hour and a half or so the other direction. So Zach was Zach, and told me to believe in the him that believed in him. So after trying to break into his car with some sticks, which didn't work, I told him to try the antenna, and after some finagling, we somehow unlocked the door through the window. So we arrived at town with no keys, locked out of the car, and he also forgot his wallet. My wallet was in the glove compartment box, so I was like, okay, that's not a big deal, I'll just go get it. Zach thought it would be best to lock the glove compartment box while inside the locked car. So we have no money, no keys to get to the money. So close, yet so far. So I was about ready to go begging for some money so we could get 2 gallons of water. But Zach somehow managed to find enough coins in his car to get 2 gallons of water and a bag of chips for us to split for our lunch.
I'm going to be a beautiful butterfly.
So we're about halfway back or so, and the SS Durant, the ferry that goes around Racket Lake, was coming back. And they were a good ways off. They were just coming around a bend further down. We're like, oh no, they won't come this far over. So we just keep going normal, and then the ship keeps turning towards us. And we're like, they're not slowing down. So we had to pick up the pace, started paddling a lot faster. And we probably cleared that boat by a good 20-30 feet. The people, there was a good number of people up on the top deck, and they were congratulating us for not getting run over and giving us a round of applause.
Down through the meadow, little boy was keeping up pretty well too. Oh. The old blue was right out there in front.
There goes. Ready?
While the trip had its harrowing moments, everyone had a truly great time, and even gained some stories to tell.
Way, way, we're bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain. Over the hills, the fields, the mountains, the day we chase away. We're over, seeing, we're over, catching fish. Way, way, we're bound for the mountain, the day we chase away.